What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, it's being reported that three-time junior middleweight world champion, former undisputed junior middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Jermell, Iron Man, Charlo, who is 35 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. Jermell Charlo is picking against his former stablemate and I guess former friend in former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, now junior middleweight title contender, Errol the True Spence Jr., who is 28 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. Errol Spence is going to face off against Australian superstar, son of a legend, former WBO junior middleweight world champion, Tszyu. Now, we haven't gotten an official date for that fight, but they both confirmed that that's the next fight for both guys. Tszyu, let's be honest, since getting that first loss, he's 27 wins, 3 losses, no draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. Since he took that first loss to Sebastian Fundora, where he got cut and lost his titles in the unification bout, he got obliterated the next fight by Bakram Mataliev. He came back, he got a victory over Joey Spencer, rematched Sebastian Fundora, and got stopped in the 7th round. Then he had 2 comeback fights, 2 comeback victories against Anthony Velasquez and Dennis Nerja in his last 2 fights. And Jermell Charlo is picking Tszyu to beat Errol Spence, and then he's saying after Tszyu beats Errol Spence, he's gonna fight Tszyu. Remember, when you look back, it was supposed to be Jermell Charlo and Tszyu before Jermell Charlo took the fight and lost to Canelo Alvarez. That was supposed to be the fight. And he first, remember, he got injured, then it got postponed, then they set another date, then he decided to go to Canelo Alvarez route, right? Nonetheless, Jermell Charlo is picking Tszyu to beat Errol Spence. Is this just now, when friends become enemies, right? Shouts out to Big Cartoon 5 Trey, who's now Big Tony. He just did I was watching his channel, and he just did a video. He just did a video, right? Cartoon, where he talked about friends becoming enemies, right? And in that, right, he talked about how when you are close friends, the beef becomes worse when you guys were once friends than having beef with a stranger. And that's because of expectations. And when I say expectations, this is what I mean when I say expectations, right? People have titles, and you develop relationships, and then they have titles in your life, right? And you expect them to live up to those titles. Your expectations to them is to live up to them titles. You my brother, you my close friend, you my blood brother. Like Cartoon was saying, family members fall out, and it's worse than falling out with a stranger. Yeah, because expectations. disappointment. A person that don't know you, that you don't know, they don't know you, you don't know them. They ain't got to respect you, right? The expectations, you ain't got no expectation of them. You don't expect nothing of them, right? Because you don't know them. They don't know you. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, the disappointment starts to set in, right? And then pride and a lot of other things start to factor in when it unfolds in that manner. That's what happens. And so Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo both train with Derrick James, and you expect people that you are close to to hold you to a certain, respect you to a certain degree. And if they don't, you know what I'm saying, then things go very, very sour. And I think that this is just going to make a showdown between Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo that much bigger, because I don't think, there's no doubt in my brain that Errol Spence is going to beat Tszyu. And I think he's going to stop Tszyu. Errol Spence said Tszyu think this is a joke. He said, I'm going to do you bad. And I think he is going to do him bad. For sure, I think Errol Spence is going to do him bad. And then we get Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. Why not? Then that's the route to go. Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. There's a lot of people doubting Errol Spence, though. Robert Garcia, who faced Errol Spence with his brother Mikey Garcia, he stated that Errol Spence is washed and that Errol Spence can't even beat a tune-up today's time. He said that, Errol Spence didn't take a tune-up because he wouldn't beat a tune-up, and he can't afford to lose to a tune-up, right? Tszyu is a tune-up for Errol Spence, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Errol Spence hasn't fought in 3 years. He took a bad loss and a bad beating to Terrence Crawford. Jermell Charlo ain't fighting in 3 years. They fought just months apart. He fought July of 2023. Jermell fought September 2023. Now, Jermell got dropped, but he didn't take the punishment Errol Spence took because Errol Spence laid his heart on the line. That's the difference. Jermell Charlo didn't. He laid down. Errol Spence didn't, right? He went out on his shield. There's the difference. Robert Garcia thinks that Tszyu gonna win. I think Tszyu's style is perfectly tailor-made for Errol Spence. And I think another thing is that people are overlooking the greatness of Terrence Crawford. Right? People are not understanding the greatness of Terrence Crawford as well. But let's see how this unfolds and plays out, man. I'm not surprised, but imagine how big Errol Spence versus Jermell Charlo would be in Texas. Now, I don't know if it'll be in Houston or Dallas or wherever it'll be, but just imagine them facing off against one another in Texas. Shh. Man, oh man, that would be enormous. But drop a comment in the comment section, man. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. I'm gone. Peace.